Hello, and welcome to Japanese Craft Beer Reviews. Today we're going to take a look at a beer from a brewery which you may not have heard of, which I haven't actually thought of much in the last several years, but their beers suddenly appeared in the store, like 12 of them, and it was quite a surprise. And that brewery is Doppo Beer in Okayama, which is located in the central part of Japan, between, let's say, between Osaka and Hiroshima. And it is, the main company is Miyashita Sake Brewery Company Limited, and they have been producing sake for a long time, since 1915, so over 100 years. And they started producing beer in 1995, and so they claim that they are one of the, what do they call it, the pioneer of craft Japanese microbrewery. On their website, they claim that they're the ninth micro to open in Japan. That's possible. I really don't know exactly. But around 1994, the tax laws changed, and a lot of people started deciding to open microbreweries at that time. It was called the first wave of Japanese micros. And so in 1995, they opened a brewery in Korakuen, and for naming their brewery, the beer brewery, they've been a sake brewery, of course. For naming the beer brewery, they put out a call for names, and they got 3,000 suggestions, and they chose the name Doppo. And Doppo is these two characters here, and this is the character that's used in the name of the country Germany, Doitsu, and the together they can mean independence, Dokuritsu, Doppo Dokuritsu, and so one of the things was that they were trying to put out German-style beers, and so the Do became an important part of their name, and so 3,000 choices, and they chose that one. And their goal was to brew traditional German type beers, German style beers. And if you've been drinking craft beer in Japan for a while, you're probably aware that many of the early craft breweries decided to do German style. So all of them made a Pils, an Alt, maybe a Weizen, something like that. So later craft brewers didn't really stick to that line so much, but early ones did. And in fact, beer was started in Japan, by German breweries. Spring Valley in Yokohama and Sapporo in Hokkaido. So a lot of people, even to this day, still associate beer with Germany. So, but Doppo has been around for a while, and I haven't had any of them for quite a while, so I thought I would give them a go. And we're going to start with several beers. I've got, I think, 10, so I will have a playlist of Doppo beers, so give them a look. And here's another beer from Doppo, and this may be the last one, I don't know. I think there's a couple more in the store that I may give a try, but since the first group I had, it's kind of been downhill. The first ones were the kind of standard lineup of Pils, Schwarz, and Dunkel, and they have a variety of other beer specialty grains and fruited beers, and they haven't been quite as good. Well, this is also another fruited beer, or as they say, fruity Doppo. It's called Doppo Muscat Pils, and it's a flavored fruit beer. Flavored with muscat juice from Okayama, and you see pictures of those big round green muscats there. And so it has muscat juice, and the ingredients also include what they call flavoring, so we'll see what that is. And I'm not sure what the label art is. Someone suggested to me that perhaps this was okay, I've forgotten the name now, the artist. In any case, French artist, I can't remember. And he's got what looks like a beer, or maybe even an ice cream cone, but I assume it's supposed to be a beer. This one has 11 ratings on Rate Beer, and the average is not too high, 2.85 out of 5, and 17 percentile for all beers on Rate Beer, and only 36 percentile for its style, which is flavored fruit. So it hasn't broken the 50% mark here. Untapped 445 ratings, and the average is a lot higher, 3.26. This was 400 yen at the Yamaya series of liquor stores, 330 milliliter bottle. I have had this before. It's been about 7 years or so. Okay, so we'll give this a go. So it's a quiet Sunday afternoon where I am, and been catching up on a little work on the computer and cleaning the house and listening to drive-by truckers and Wilco, and whom I've had the pleasure of seeing 3 times, twice, not drive-by, Wilco, 3 times, twice here in Japan, and maybe I'll tell you a funny story about me and Jeff Tweedy if we have a chance. Okay, let's look at this beer first, though. And Drive-By Truckers, which are a kind of hard-working band, originally out of Athens, Georgia. And, okay, well, certainly it does have muscat juice aroma. Maybe some light pale malt behind it. The malt, I believe, yeah, it's German malt, as they do use for all of their beers, as far as I know. Yeah, and mostly muscat juice. Kind of fresh and fruity and lightly floral. It's almost edging on that kind of laundromat or detergent sort of nose that comes in some fruit beers. Okay. It does have muscat juice, and the muscat juice is kind of the sweetness is kind of offset by the bitterness in this. Very mild. It's kind of, some fruit beers tend to be more fruit juicy, and this is kind of a blend. It's kind of halfway between a beer and a Pilsner and a fruit juice. Yeah. Not entirely unpleasant. I rated this 2.7 out of 5 7 years ago, and I might give it a little higher now, maybe around 3. It's not bad. Yeah. You may want to give this one a go. My Jeff Tweedy story. The last time I saw them, no, not the last time, but the second time I saw them in Japan, they hadn't been to Japan for 7 years, and when they came out to play their encore, several people near me, it was all a standing crowd, and several people near me were screaming, 7 years, 7 songs, meaning it's been 7 years since you came here. Would you play 7 more songs for us? And they were screaming, and I joined them. And suddenly, before they started their encore, Tweedy sort of turned around and said, "What's that?" And I screamed. They shut up. They went silent, and I screamed, 7 years, 7 songs. And he said, "Hey, man, we played a lot more than that," and turned away. And they started, and they played an encore of only 2 songs. And afterwards, my friends were blaming me. That was my one and only conversation, and probably will be my only conversation with Jeff Tweedy of Wilco, who I highly respect. I've read both of his books, and 2 of his books, and 2 of his 3 books, or 2 books, 1 book about him and his book he wrote about himself. In any case, enough of that. So once again, this is called Muscat Pils. Give it a go or don't, and it's currently available in the Yamaya liquor stores. And you may like it if you like fruit beers. Okay, that's it for now. Take care. Bye-bye.